The wallet weighs nothing in Riven's coat pocket, but it might as well be a brick of gold. He stands outside the glass doors of the building, sleek, black, expensive, and counts his options. Return it, get the reward money the business card promises, buy Ever's medicine. Don't return it, pawn the credit cards, risk jail time he can't afford. The cold bites through his threadbare jacket. February in the industrial district doesn't forgive poor planning, and Riven stopped planning anything beyond tomorrow weeks ago. He pushes through the doors. Warm air hits his face first, then the smell. Leather and something else, something sweet and chemical that makes his throat tighten. The lobby gleams. Marble floors reflect recessed lighting. A fountain trickles in the corner. The sound too soft, too deliberate. No reception desk. That should have been his first clue. Hi viewers, kindly tell us where you're watching from and what time it is. Riven walks deeper inside, his sneakers squeaking against the polished stone. His reflection in the dark windows looks exactly like what it is. A broke Omega in a borrowed coat, out of place and out of time. The eviction notice crinkles in his other pocket every time he moves. 48 hours. That's all the landlord gave him. 48 hours to come up with 2 months' rent or watch Ever get shuffled back into the system. The hallway curves left. Music drifts from somewhere ahead, low and thrumming, the kind that vibrates in your chest before you actually hear it. He follows it because there's nowhere else to go. The hall opens into a room. A very wrong room. Riven stops breathing. The setup like a theater. Velvet chairs in neat rows, all facing a raised platform with lights trained on a single spot. People fill the seats. Alphas, every single one of them. Their scents layering thick enough to taste. Money and power and cologne that costs more than rent. On the platform stands a woman in a silver dress, her hands bound with silk rope, her eyes downcast. An auction card sits on the podium beside her. Number 7. Omega. Unbonded. 23 years old. Riven's stomach drops. He takes a step back. His shoe squeaks. 3 heads turn in unison from the front row. Triplets. They have to be. Same sharp jawline, same broad shoulders stretching expensive black suits. Same way they move, one shifts, the others follow half a second later like they're connected by invisible string. But their eyes are different. The one in the middle watches Riven with the cold focus of a surgeon deciding where to cut. The one on the left tilts his head, nostrils flaring, and Riven feels that look everywhere. A physical thing crawling across his skin. The one on the right just smiles, slow and knowing, like Riven walked into a trap and doesn't realize it yet. The auctioneer. A thin man with slicked back hair and a voice like honey over glass. Pauses mid-sentence. The whole room goes quiet. Riven's pulse hammers in his ears. The triplet in the middle stands. His shoes click against the floor, each step measured, deliberate. He moves like violence wrapped in silk, and Riven's body responds before his brain catches up. Knees locking, breath stuttering, every instinct screaming run. But his feet won't move. The alpha stops 3 feet away, close enough that Riven can see the amber flecks in his dark eyes, the faint scar cutting through his left eyebrow, close enough to smell him. Cedar and smoke and something underneath that makes Riven's mouth go dry. You're not on the list. His voice is quiet, controlled, the kind of quiet that makes people nervous. Riven forces words past the tightness in his throat. I'm not. I didn't know. I found a wallet. I'm just. Do you have a mate? The question slices through everything else. The room holds its breath. Riven's tongue sticks to the roof of his mouth. He should lie. He should run. He should do anything except stand here while 3 alphas stare at him like he's the next lot up for bidding. The words come out barely louder than air. Not yet. The change is immediate. The alpha in front of him goes rigid. Behind him, one of the brothers makes a sound low in his chest. Not quite a growl, not quite a groan. The third one stands so fast his chair scrapes against the floor. Their scents spike. All 3 at once. It crashes over Riven like a wave, drowning him in burnt sugar and ozone and want. His knees buckle. Someone catches his elbow. The one who was smiling, now close enough to breathe against Riven's ear. "Easy," he murmurs, and the word drips with something Riven doesn't have a name for. The auctioneer clears his throat. "Gentlemen, if you'd like to place him on the registry." "No registry." The middle triplet doesn't look away from Riven. "Private sale. Now." Numbers start flying. Riven can't track them. 20,000. 50,000. Someone in the back shouts 75, and the triplet on the left turns, just turns, and the room goes quiet again. 100,000. The auctioneer blinks. "Sold to." "Don't." Riven finds his voice, thin and shaking. "I'm not." "This isn't." The one still holding his elbow tightens his grip. "Not painful, just firm. Final." "You walked into an unlisted auction house in the Vantral district without a mate bond," he says softly. "That makes you available merchandise. Those are the rules." "I didn't know the rules." "Doesn't matter." The middle triplet reaches out and Riven flinches, but all he does is adjust the collar of Riven's coat. His fingers brush the edge of Riven's scent gland and Riven's vision whites out for half a second. "You're under our protection now," the alpha says. "That means no one else touches you. No one else bids. No one else looks at you like that." His thumb presses against Riven's pulse point. "Understand." Riven doesn't understand anything. The third brother appears on his other side. He doesn't touch, just stands there, close enough that Riven feels boxed in, caged by 3 bodies and 3 scents and 3 sets of eyes that won't stop watching him like he's something they own. Maybe he is now. The auctioneer produces paperwork. The middle triplet signs without reading it. Money changes hands somewhere behind them. Riven hears the beep of a transaction, the murmur of a banking app confirming transfer. His legs don't work right. He's moving, but he doesn't remember deciding to move. They guide him through a side door, down another hallway, this one empty and echoing. An elevator waits at the end. The brother on his left hits the button. The doors slide open, revealing mirrors on every wall and soft lighting that makes Riven's reflection look like a ghost. They step inside. The doors start to close. Riven's breath comes too fast, too shallow. He stares at the control panel. No buttons, just a keycard reader and a biometric scanner. No emergency stop. No alarm. One of them moves behind him. Riven sees it in the mirror, the middle triplet stepping closer, his hand rising toward Riven's shoulder. The elevator starts to climb. Would Riven survive his first night with the triplets? Or was this protection just another word for ownership? The elevator opens to white. White marble floors, white leather furniture, white walls broken only by floor-to-ceiling windows that show the city sprawling 30 stories below. The penthouse smells like expensive nothing. Filtered air and cold surfaces and money that doesn't need to announce itself. Riven steps out because the alternative is standing in the elevator forever, and the triplets don't seem like the waiting type. The middle one moves past him without a word, shrugging out of his suit jacket and draping it over a chair like this is routine. Like buying a person and bringing them home is just another Tuesday. Maybe for them it is. The one who'd been on Riven's left in the elevator walks to the windows and stands there, hands in his pockets, watching the city. Silent. He hasn't said a word since the auction room. The third brother, the one who'd smiled, gestures toward the couch. Sit. Riven doesn't sit. I need to make a call. No. There's a kid. He's sick, he needs. We know about Yver. The smiling one tilts his head. 6 years old. Fever started 3 days ago. You've been giving him children's Tylenol and hoping it breaks on its own because the clinic won't see him without insurance you don't have. Riven's chest goes cold. How do you? We know everything about you, Riven Calder. 24 years old. Unclaimed Omega. No bond mark, no suppressant prescription, no legal guardian on record. You've been living in Unit 4B of the Rust Street Apartments for 7 months. For months past your lease expiration. You owe $6,000 in back rent. He pulls out his phone, taps something, and shows Riven the screen. It's a bank transfer. $6,000. Paid in full. And another transfer below it. $500 to St. Mercy's Children's Clinic. Patient. Iver Okoye. Riven's knees go weak. You can't just. We already did. The brother pockets his phone. Iver's being treated right now. Respiratory infection, probably needs antibiotics. He'll be fine. The words should be comforting. They're not. They're terrifying. Sit down. The brother says again, gentler this time. Doctor's coming in 10 minutes. Need to make sure you're not carrying anything before you settle in. Riven sits because his legs won't hold him anymore. The middle triplet returns carrying a glass of water and a small orange pill bottle. He sets both on the coffee table in front of Riven. The label reads, heat suppressants. 30-day supply. Take 1 daily. You're 3 weeks late on your cycle, the alpha says. That's dangerous. Riven stares at the bottle. He hasn't been able to afford suppressants in 4 months. He'd been rationing the last few pills, taking half doses, stretching them until they stopped working at all. How much do I owe you? The alpha's expression doesn't change. You don't owe us anything. I owe you $100,000. No, we bought your protection. That's not a debt. It's a contract. I didn't agree to a contract. The silent brother finally turns from the window. His voice is rough, like he doesn't use it often. You walked into ventral territory and bonded. You agreed the second you stepped through those doors. Riven wants to argue, wants to scream. But the eviction notice is still in his pocket and Iver's getting treatment, and there's a month's worth of suppressants sitting on the table in front of him like they're nothing. Like $100,000 is nothing. The door opens. A woman in scrubs walks in carrying a medical bag. Doesn't knock, doesn't ask permission. She nods at the triplets like they're old friends. Blood work and a physical, she says to Riven. Not a question. Riven's throat closes. I don't. It's standard. The middle triplet sits in the chair across from him. We need to know if you're healthy, if you need anything. The unspoken part hangs in the air. If you're worth what we paid. The doctor is efficient. She takes his blood pressure, draws 3 vials of blood, checks his temperature and glands, and asks questions Riven answers on autopilot. When she's done, she packs up her bag and leaves without saying goodbye. The smiling brother watches from the doorway. You'll stay in the guest room. East wing, second door. Bathrooms attached. Clothes in the closet should fit. Dinner's at 7. I need to see Iver. Tomorrow. He doesn't know where I am. He'll be scared. He's sedated. He won't wake up until morning. The brother's smile doesn't reach his eyes. You can call the clinic if you want. We'll monitor the call. Riven's stomach twists. Monitor. For safety. Yours and his. The brother steps closer, and Riven tracks him the way prey tracks a predator. Every muscle coiled tight. You're under our guardianship now. That means we're responsible for you. It means we protect you from threats outside these walls. And inside them, the smile sharpens. Inside, you follow the rules. He doesn't elaborate, doesn't need to. The silent brother finally moves from the window. He walks past Riven close enough that their shoulders almost brush, and Riven catches his scent. Rain and steel and something darker underneath. The alpha pauses, just for a second, looking down at Riven with eyes that give away nothing. Then he's gone, disappearing down a hallway Riven hasn't seen yet. The middle triplet stands. I'm Kale. That's Nyx. He nods toward where the silent one vanished. And Soren, the smiling one. Riven doesn't introduce himself. They already know his name. They know everything. Kale crosses to a panel on the wall and taps something. A screen lights up showing different camera angles. The elevator. The hallway. The guest room. The kitchen. Every room. Doors lock at midnight, Kale says without turning around. For safety. If there's an emergency, press the red button by your bed. Someone will come. Someone or all 3 of you? Kale glances back. Something flickers in his expression, amusement maybe, or warning. Depends on the emergency. He leaves Riven sitting there alone. Alone except for the cameras. Riven picks up the suppressant bottle. Turns it over in his hands. The prescription label has his name on it. Dated today, signed by a doctor he's never met. They planned this. Before the auction, before he walked through those doors, they knew he'd need these. Knew he'd be desperate enough to stay. He swallows one pill dry, feels it stick in his throat. The guest room is exactly where Soren said it would be. King-sized bed, silk sheets, a bathroom with heated floors and a shower that probably costs more than his entire apartment. The closet is full of clothes in his size, jeans, sweaters, underwear still in packaging. Everything he could possibly need. Everything except freedom. Riven sits on the edge of the bed and pulls out his phone. Dead, of course. He finds a charger on the nightstand. They thought of everything. While it powers on, he walks to the window. Same view as the living room. 30 stories of nothing between him and the ground. No fire escape. No balcony. His phone buzzes to life. 17 missed calls from the clinic. 3 voicemails. He plays the first one. Mr. Calder, this is St. Mercy's. Iver Okoye has been admitted for treatment. He's stable. We have you listed as emergency contact, but we'll need you to come sign. The message cuts off. Riven tries to call back. The line doesn't connect. He tries again. Same thing. He tries texting. Message failed. They're not blocking his phone. They're blocking everything except what they want him to see. His hands shake. He sets the phone down before he throws it. Dinner is quiet. They eat at a table big enough for 12, but it's just the 4 of them. Kale at the head, Nix to his right, Soren to his left. Riven sits at the other end. A mile of polished wood between him and them. The food is perfect. Steak cooked medium rare, roasted vegetables, mashed potatoes that taste like butter and cream and things Riven hasn't eaten in months. He can't taste any of it. Soren watches him not eat. You need to keep your strength up. Riven sets down his fork. Why? Because you're recovering. Malnutrition takes time to fix. That's not what I'm asking. Nix cuts his steak with deliberate precision. Doesn't look up. Then ask the real question. Riven swallows. Why me? Kale leans back in his chair. Studies Riven like he's a problem to solve. You walked into our territory. That's not a reason. It is for us. Soren picks up his wine glass, swirls it. You're unclaimed. Vulnerable. That makes you a target for people worse than us. You bought me at an auction. We bought your safety. Soren takes a sip. There's a difference. Riven wants to argue, wants to scream, but his throat is too tight and his eyes are burning and he will not cry in front of them. He stands. I'm not hungry. Kale's voice stops him before he reaches the hallway. We're not your enemies, Riven. Riven doesn't turn around. Then what are you? No one answers. Back in the guest room, Riven lies on the bed and stares at the ceiling. Counts the recessed lights. Counts his breaths. Counts the hours until he can see Iver again. Counts the cameras he can't see but knows are watching. He's almost asleep when he hears it. Voices, muffled and distant, coming from somewhere deeper in the penthouse. He presses his ear to the wall. Soren's voice, low and measured. He doesn't know what he really is yet. Kale's reply is too quiet to make out. Then Nix, rough-edged and final. He will. What did they mean Riven didn't know what he really was? And would knowing the truth destroy him or save him? Iver's crying echoes down the hallway before Riven even sees him. The sound punches through Riven's chest, high and broken and scared, and his feet move before his brain catches up. He doesn't care that Soren's hand shoots out to stop him. Doesn't care that Kale says his name in that controlled voice that means obey. He runs. The clinic wing is sterile and bright, all white walls and antiseptic smell. Iver sits on an examination table, legs dangling, face buried in his hands. A nurse stands nearby looking helpless. Riven's across the room in 3 steps. Hey, I'm here. Iver's head snaps up. His eyes are swollen and red, his bottom lip trembling. Riven. Yeah, buddy. It's me. Riven pulls him into a hug, feels the small body shake against his chest. Iver's too thin. Always has been. Riven can count his ribs through the hospital gown. I want my mama. Ever whispers into Riven's shoulder. I want to go home. Riven's throat closes. Ever's mama is 3 states away in a women's prison serving 8 years for a crime she didn't commit. Home is a concept that stopped existing for both of them months ago. I know, Riven says, because what else can he say? I know. Behind him, someone clears their throat. Riven turns, ready to snap at Soren or Kale or whoever came to drag him away. But it's not them. It's Nyx. The silent brother stands in the doorway, massive and still, watching them with an expression Riven can't read. He doesn't say anything, just stands there, taking up space, his presence somehow louder than words. Ever peeks out from Riven's arms. His eyes go wide. Who's that? That's... Riven doesn't know how to explain. That's Nyx. He's helping us. Ever doesn't look convinced. He burrows deeper into Riven's chest. Nyx moves. 3 slow steps into the room. Then he does something Riven never expected. He kneels. Drops down to one knee so he's eye level with Ever. Big hands resting on his thighs. Head tilted slightly. His voice when he speaks is rough but careful, like he's afraid of breaking something. You're Ever. Ever nods, still half hidden behind Riven. I'm Nyx. You're staying with us for a while. I don't want to. Ever's voice is small. I want my mama. Nyx doesn't flinch. Doesn't tell him he can't have that. Just nods once, slow and deliberate. Okay. The silence stretches. Riven's heart pounds against his ribs. He doesn't understand what's happening. Doesn't understand why an alpha who terrifies him is kneeling on a clinic floor talking to a 6-year-old like it's the most important conversation in the world. Nyx reaches into his pocket and pulls out something small. A toy car. Red and beat up and obviously old. The kind of thing that's been loved too hard for too long. This was mine, Nyx says. He holds it out on his palm. When I was scared, I'd hold on to it. Made things easier. Ever stares at the car. Then at Nyx. Then at the car again. Slowly, carefully, he reaches out and takes it. Nyx's expression doesn't change, but something in his shoulders relaxes. He stands, nods once at Riven, and leaves without another word. Ever turns the car over in his hands, running his fingers along the chipped paint. Is he nice? Riven doesn't know how to answer that. I don't know yet. The doctor comes in, same woman from yesterday, and runs through Ever's test results. Respiratory infection, like they'd said. Antibiotics for 10 days. Rest, plenty of fluids. He'll be fine. Fine. The word sits wrong in Riven's chest. They take Ever back to the penthouse in a car with windows tinted so dark Riven can barely see out. Ever sits between him and Soren, clutching the toy car, occasionally glancing up at the alpha like he's trying to figure him out. Soren notices. He always notices. You like cars? Ever nods. I've got a collection. Want to see it later? Ever's eyes go wide. A collection? 43 cars. Some vintage, some custom. There's a garage downstairs. Riven's stomach twists. This is how it starts. Small kindnesses, gifts, tension. Making a scared kid think he's safe when he's just traded one cage for another. But Ever's smiling, and Riven hasn't seen him smile in weeks. Back at the penthouse, Kale's waiting in the kitchen. He's made soup, actual homemade soup, steam rising from 2 bowls on the counter. He slides one toward Ever without a word. Ever looks at Riven, asking permission. Riven nods, throat tight. They eat in silence. Ever's still too thin, still too pale, but he finishes the entire bowl and asks for more. Kale refills it without comment. Riven watches this man, this alpha who bought him, who owns him, ladle soup for a sick kid like it's the most natural thing in the world. And something inside him cracks a little. Maybe breaks. He doesn't know anymore. After Soren shows Ever the car collection. Riven follows because he can't leave Ever alone with them. Doesn't matter that they've been nothing but careful. The garage is obscene. Rows of pristine vehicles under soft lighting. Everything from classic Mustangs to modern Teslas. Ever runs from car to car, pressing his face against windows. Asking questions Soren answers with genuine enthusiasm. At one point Iver actually laughs, and Riven has to look away. Nyx appears at his shoulder, doesn't say anything, just stands there, a solid presence in Riven's peripheral vision. "Thank you," Riven says quietly, "for the car." Nyx's jaw tightens. "He needed it." "Why do you care?" "Because you do." The answer is too simple, too honest. Riven doesn't know what to do with it. They set Iver up in the room next to Riven's. Same size, same view, but filled with things a kid would love. Books, toys, a TV with every streaming service. There's even a stuffed elephant on the bed, gray and soft and new. Iver hugs it immediately. "Can I keep him?" Kale leans against the doorframe. "He's yours." That night, Riven tucks Iver into bed and tells him a story about a brave knight and a dragon that wasn't really bad, just misunderstood. Iver falls asleep halfway through, the toy car clutched in one hand, the elephant in the other. Riven sits there for a long time after, watching him breathe. When he finally leaves, closing the door softly behind him, all three alphas are waiting in the hallway. "He can't stay here," Riven says before any of them can speak. "This isn't. Whatever this is, he can't be part of it." Kale crosses his arms. "He's safer here than anywhere else." "You don't know that." "We do. There are people who would have bought him at that auction. People who don't give a damn about super toy cars or whether he ever sees his mother again." Kale's voice drops. "We're not those people." "Then what are you?" Riven's voice cracks. "Because I don't understand. I don't understand any of this." Soren steps closer. Close enough that Riven has to tilt his head back to meet his eyes. "You don't have to understand. You just have to trust that we're keeping you both safe." "Trust?" Riven laughs, sharp and bitter. "You bought me. You monitor my phone. You lock me in at night. Why the hell would I trust you?" Nyx shifts, drawing Riven's attention. He's standing near the window, arms crossed, expression unreadable. When he speaks, his voice cuts through everything else. "Because we haven't hurt you." The words hang in the air. Riven wants to argue, wants to say that buying someone is hurt, that control is hurt, that kindness doesn't erase ownership. But then he thinks about Iver laughing in the garage, about Nyx kneeling on the clinic floor, about Kale's soup and Soren's car collection, and the way none of them have touched him beyond guiding hands and adjusted collars. He thinks about the eviction notice he doesn't have to worry about anymore, about the suppressants he couldn't afford, about Iver getting treatment instead of getting sicker, and he hates that he's grateful, hates that part of him wants to stay. "I'm going to bed," he says, "because he can't do this anymore tonight." None of them stop him. Riven lies in the dark and stares at the ceiling, listens to Iver's soft breathing through the wall, counts heartbeats, counts breaths, counts the ways this could all go wrong. He's almost asleep when he hears it. A scream, distant, muffled, coming from somewhere below. Riven bolts upright, heart slamming against his ribs. He waits, straining to hear anything else. Nothing. Maybe he imagined it. Maybe it was a dream bleeding into reality. But his hands are shaking and his pulse won't slow, and he knows he heard something. He gets up, presses his ear to the door. Silence. He tries the handle, locked from the outside. What was happening in the basement that the triplets didn't want him to see? And how long before Riven became the one screaming? Riven waits until 3 a.m. when the penthouse is quiet and still. He'd memorized the lock pattern yesterday, watching Soren punch in the code from the wrong angle in a mirror. 4 digits. 7-2-9-3. Riven had repeated them in his head 20 times until they stuck. The lock clicks open. Riven moves through the darkness in his socks, every step deliberate, avoiding the floorboards he knows creak from 2 days of careful observation. Past Iver's room. He checks through the crack in the door, sees the small shape breathing steady under blankets. Past the living room with its wall of windows showing the city asleep. To the elevator. He holds his breath and presses the down button. The doors open silent. Too silent. Like they were oiled recently, maintained carefully, used often. There's a basement button. Riven's never seen anyone use it. He presses it. The elevator descends. His stomach drops with it. 12 floors down, past the lobby, past ground level, into the guts of the building where concrete meets steel and no windows let in light. The doors open to a hallway lit by fluorescent strips that hum and flicker. It smells different here, damp and cold, and underneath that something chemical. Bleach, maybe, or something stronger. Riven's hands shake as he moves forward. The first door is locked. So is the second. The third opens when he tries the handle. Inside is an office. Desk, filing cabinets, a computer still running with 3 monitors showing spreadsheets and databases. Riven doesn't touch anything, just looks. The spreadsheets are full of names. Omega names, ages, physical descriptions, status, acquired, pending, terminated. Terminated. Riven's throat closes. He pulls out his phone. They'd finally unblocked it yesterday, probably thinking he'd earned their trust. He starts taking pictures. Screen after screen of data he doesn't fully understand but knows is wrong. Knows is dangerous. Knows is the kind of thing people disappear for discovering. A filing cabinet sits in the corner. Riven pulls it open. Manila folders, each labeled with a name and case number. He grabs one at random, flips it open. Photos fall out. A young Omega, maybe 16, with scared eyes and bruises on his wrists. Below that, a contract. Below that, medical records. Below that, a death certificate. Riven's hands shake so hard he almost drops the file. He grabs another. Same thing. Different Omega, different bruises, same ending. Another. 6 folders. 6 dead Omegas. 6 cases marked closed. Underneath the files is a ledger. Handwritten entries tracking payments, debts, settlements. Children listed by first name only. Amounts that make Riven's vision swim. He photographs everything. His phone storage fills up, but he doesn't stop, can't stop, because this is evidence, and evidence means, you weren't supposed to see this. Riven spins. Soren stands in the doorway, hands in his pockets, expression calm. Too calm. The phone almost slips from Riven's grip. He clutches it tighter, heart hammering so hard it hurts. Soren steps inside, closes the door behind him. The click of the lock is the loudest sound Riven's ever heard. Give me the phone, Riven. No. Give me the phone and we can talk about this. Talk about what? The dead Omegas? The child trafficking? Riven's voice cracks. What is this? Soren doesn't answer, just holds out his hand, palm up, waiting. Riven backs up until he hits the filing cabinet. Nowhere to go. Soren's blocking the only exit, and even if Riven could get past him, the elevator needs a keycard and Riven doesn't have one. He's trapped. This isn't what you think, Soren says quietly. Those files are old. Cases we inherited when we took over the territory. Inherited? Our father ran this operation. We shut it down 2 years ago. Soren takes another step closer. What you're looking at is evidence we've been gathering. To take down the people who are still doing this. Riven wants to believe him. God, he wants to believe him. But he's seen the dates on the files. Some are old. Some are recent. Some are from last month. You're lying. Soren's jaw tightens. I'm not. Then why lock me in at night? Why monitor my phone? Why buy me at an auction if you're so against trafficking? Because the people we're investigating would have bought you if we didn't. Soren's voice drops. Because you walked into a room full of predators and we were the only ones trying to protect you. By making me a prisoner? By keeping you alive. The words hit like a slap. Riven stares at him, pulse racing, mind spinning. He doesn't know what's true anymore. Doesn't know if the alphas are saviors or monsters or something in between. Doesn't know if it matters. Soren closes the distance between them in 2 steps. His hand wraps around Riven's wrist. Not rough, not tight, just firm enough to keep him still. Give me the phone, he says again, softer this time. Please. Riven's grip loosens. He doesn't mean for it to, but it does. Soren takes the phone gently, like he's afraid Riven might break. He pulls up the photos, looks through them one by one. His expression doesn't change. When he's done, he deletes them all. Every single one. Then he opens the camera app and holds the phone up, pointing it at the files still spread across the desk. "What are you?" "Recording." Soren starts narrating, his voice steady and detached. Case files from the Vantral trafficking operation. Active from 2019 to 2023. Terminated by current management. Evidence retained for federal investigation. He pans across the spreadsheets, the ledgers, the death certificates. Records everything Riven had just photographed, plus more. Details Riven hadn't noticed, connections he hadn't made. When he's done, he hands the phone back to Riven. "Send that to someone you trust," Soren says. "Not now, not here, but when you get the chance, send it to someone who can do something with it." Riven stares at the phone in his hand. "Why?" "Because you're right not to trust us." Soren's eyes meet his, and for the first time since Riven met him, the smile is completely gone. "Because we're not the heroes in this story. We're just the ones trying to stop it from getting worse." He steps back, opens the door. "The elevator code to get back up is your birthday," Soren says. "Kale programmed it in yesterday. He thought you might try this eventually." Riven's stomach drops. "You knew." "We knew you'd need to see for yourself. That you wouldn't believe us if we just told you." Soren pauses in the doorway. "For what it's worth, I'm glad you did. It means you're smart. Means you don't give trust away for free." He leaves. Riven stands there in the fluorescent light, clutching his phone, surrounded by evidence of horrors he can't unsee. The scream from last night makes sense now. Someone being questioned. Someone being moved. Someone being... He can't finish the thought. Riven rides the elevator back up in silence. His hands won't stop shaking. The video on his phone feels like it weighs 1,000 pounds. When he gets back to his room, he checks the footage. Soren didn't delete it, didn't corrupt it. It's all there. Every frame, every word, every piece of evidence. He opens his messages, starts typing a text to the one person he still trusts, a case worker from 3 years ago who'd believed him when no one else did. Then he stops. Because if the triplets really are trying to take down a trafficking ring, sending this evidence to the wrong person could get people killed. But if they're not, if this is just another layer of the lie, then keeping silent makes Riven complicit. He doesn't know which is worse. Riven lies down, doesn't sleep, just stares at the ceiling and tries to figure out which version of reality he's living in. The one where he's being protected, or the one where he's next. If Soren was telling the truth about taking down the trafficking ring, why did the triplets snap with jealousy at the auction? Did they want to save Riven or own him? The restaurant is the kind of place where menus don't have prices and everyone knows everyone. Riven doesn't belong here. He knows it. The triplets know it. Every alpha in the private dining room knows it the second Kale walks in with his hand on the small of Riven's back, guiding him like he's something precious and breakable. The room goes quiet. Then the whispers start. "Is that? Heard they bought him for..." "Unclaimed, I thought, but clearly..." Riven wants to disappear. Instead, he lets Kale pull out a chair for him at a table near the center of the room where everyone can see, where everyone will watch. Nix and Soren take the seats on either side of him. Kale sits across, boxed in again, caged by 3 bodies and too much attention. A server appears with wine. Riven doesn't drink. His stomach is too tight, his pulse too fast. He can feel eyes on him, assessing, calculating, judging. Soren leans close enough that his breath ghosts across Riven's ear. "Ignore them. Kind of hard when everyone's staring. Let them stare. They're just jealous." Riven turns his head, finds Soren's face inches from his. "Of what?" Soren's smile is slow and dangerous. "That we got to you first." Before Riven can respond, someone approaches their table. An alpha Riven doesn't recognize. Tall, dark-skinned, wearing a suit that probably costs more than a car. His scent rolls over them, confident and expensive. "Kale, Nix, Soren." He nods at each triplet. Then his eyes land on Riven. "And this must be the Omega everyone's talking about." Kale's fork pauses halfway to his mouth. "Rashad." Heard you made quite the purchase last week. 100,000, was it? Rashad's smile doesn't reach his eyes. Must be something special. The temperature at the table drops 10 degrees. Nix doesn't move, but Riven feels the shift in his body. Every muscle coiling tight, ready to spring. Soren's hand finds Riven's thigh under the table, fingers pressing firm enough to leave marks. Kale sets down his fork with deliberate care. He's under our protection. Protection. Rashad chuckles. Is that what we're calling it now? He reaches out like he's going to touch Riven's shoulder. Doesn't make it halfway. Nix's hand closes around Rashad's wrist. The sound of bone grinding against bone is audible even over the restaurant noise. Don't, Nix growls. His voice is low, lethal. Rashad tries to pull away. Can't. His smile falters. I was just leaving. Kale stands. He's not the tallest person in the room, but somehow he takes up the most space. Authority radiating off him like heat. This is a private dinner. Come on, man. I didn't mean anything. Soren stands too. Then Nix, still gripping Rashad's wrist, forcing him back a step. The entire restaurant is watching now. Silent. Waiting. Kale walks around the table until he's standing between Rashad and Riven. His hand finds Riven's shoulder, the same spot Rashad tried to touch, and his fingers curl possessively. He's under our protection, Kale says again, louder this time, making sure everyone hears. That means no one else touches him. No one else speaks to him unless we allow it. No one else even looks at him like that. His voice drops to something darker. Break that rule and you'll answer to all three of us. The threat hangs in the air. Rashad's face flushes. He yanks his wrist free from Nix, or maybe Nix lets him go, and straightens his jacket. My mistake. He leaves without looking back. The restaurant stays quiet for another 5 seconds. Then conversations resume, carefully avoiding their table. Kale's hand is still on Riven's shoulder, burning through fabric. Claiming. Riven knocks it off. What the hell was that? Protection. That wasn't protection. That was a pissing contest. Soren slides back into his seat, calm like nothing happened. Same thing in this world. I'm not a prize you won. No, Kale agrees, sitting down. You're someone we're keeping safe. There's a difference. Really? Because it looked like you three were about to rip him apart for trying to shake my hand. Nix's jaw clenches. He wasn't going to shake your hand. The words settle over Riven like ice water. He remembers the way Rashad looked at him, the way his fingers reached out, casual and confident, like he had every right, like Riven was available merchandise. His appetite vanishes. The rest of dinner is tense. People keep glancing at their table, but no one approaches again. Riven pushes food around his plate, hyper-aware of Soren's hand still resting on his thigh, Kale's eyes tracking his every movement, Nix's presence like a wall on his left side. When they finally leave, cameras flash outside the restaurant. Paparazzi. Someone must have tipped them off. Kale Vantral. Is it true you bought an Omega last week? How much did you pay? Is he bonded? Are you planning to? Kale doesn't answer, just keeps walking, one hand firm on Riven's back, steering him toward the car. Nix flanks his other side, and Soren brings up the rear, making sure no one gets too close. Inside the car, Riven finally breathes. His hands shake. He fists them in his lap so the triplets won't see. That was humiliating, he says quietly. Soren meets his eyes in the rearview mirror. Would you rather we let him touch you? I'd rather you not act like you own me. We don't own you. We're protecting you. Then give me a choice. Riven's voice cracks. Let me decide if I want to be here. Let me take Yver somewhere safe. Let me. There is nowhere safer, Kale interrupts. He twists in his seat to look back at Riven. I know you don't believe that yet, but it's true. How can you expect me to believe anything you say when you won't tell me the truth? The car goes silent. Nix's hands tighten on the steering wheel. Soren looks away. Kale holds Riven's gaze for a long moment, something unreadable flickering in his expression. What do you want to know? Kale finally asks. Everything. Who you really are. What you really do. Why you bought me. We bought you because you were in danger. That's not an answer. It's the only one we can give right now. Frustration burns in Riven's chest. Why? Because the truth puts you at risk. The less you know, the safer you are. I already found your basement files. I think I'm past safe. Kale's expression hardens. Soren told me, and now you understand why we need to keep you close. Close or captive? Both. At least he's honest about that much. Back at the penthouse, Riven goes straight to his room. He doesn't say goodnight, doesn't look at any of them, just closes the door and leans against it, sliding down until he's sitting on the floor. His phone buzzes. A message from an unknown number. We need to talk about the Vantrals. Meet me tomorrow. 3 p.m. Corner of 5th and Main. Riven stares at the message. Doesn't recognize the number. Doesn't know who sent it. But he thinks about the basement files. About the trafficking ring. About everything the triplets aren't telling him. He types back. Who is this? 3 dots appear. Then, someone who can help you get free. Riven's heart pounds. He should show this to Kale. Should tell them someone's trying to contact him. But what if they're lying? What if protection really is just another word for ownership? What if Riven's running out of time to choose? He deletes the messages, powers off his phone, lies in bed and stares at the ceiling and tries to figure out if he's making the biggest mistake of his life. Through the wall, he hears voices, the triplets talking in Kale's office. He presses his ear against the plaster, straining to hear. Can't keep him locked up forever. We can until it's safe. And when will that be? When we've taken down the entire syndicate. That could take years. Then it takes years. A pause. Then Nyx's voice, rougher than the others. He'll hate us by then. He already hates us. No, he doesn't. Not yet. But he will if we go through with. We don't have a choice. If we don't bond him, someone else will try to take him. Riven's blood runs cold. Bond him. They're planning to bond him. Permanently. Without his consent. His hands shake so hard his phone almost falls when he picks it up. He powers it back on and opens the deleted messages, recovering them from his trash folder. He types fast before he can change his mind. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. I'll be there. Would Riven escape before the triplets forced a bond? Or was he already too late to save himself? Riven memorizes the security rotation during breakfast. Kale leaves at 8 a.m. for meetings. Soren follows at 9. Nyx stays until 10, then disappears into his home office for calls that last hours. The penthouse sits empty except for Riven and Yver between 10 and noon. 2 hours. That's his window. He packs light. 1 backpack. Clothes for Yver. Suppressants. The cash he'd found hidden in a drawer. Probably planted there as a test, but Riven takes it anyway. His phone with the basement footage backed up to 3 different cloud accounts. Everything else stays behind. Yver's eating cereal at the kitchen counter when Riven walks in at 9:47. The toy car sits next to his bowl. He hasn't let go of it since Nyx gave it to him. Hey buddy, want to go on an adventure? Yver's eyes light up. Like a real adventure? Yeah, just you and me. What about Nyx? And Kale and Soren? Riven's throat tightens. They'll catch up later. Come on, let's get your shoes. He's tying Yver's laces when he hears it. Footsteps in the hallway. Too early. Nyx isn't supposed to be done with his calls yet. Riven's pulse spikes. He grabs the backpack, hoists Yver onto his hip even though the kid's getting too big for it. Riven. Kale's voice stops him 3 feet from the door. Riven turns slowly. Kale stands in the hallway entrance, still in his suit from the meeting he's supposed to be at. His expression is calm. Too calm. Going somewhere? Just to the park. Yver needs fresh air. With a backpack full of clothes and all your suppressants? Riven's hands tighten on Yver. I wasn't asking permission. No, you were running. Kale takes a step closer. Not threatening, just closing distance. Where were you planning to go? Anywhere that's not here, even if it's less safe, even if it puts Iver at risk. You're the risk. The words come out sharper than Riven means them. Iver tenses in his arms. I heard you last night. You're planning to bond me without asking. That makes you just like everyone else who thinks they can own me. Kale stops. Something flickers across his face. Surprise, maybe, or regret. You don't understand what you heard. I understand enough. No, you don't. Kale drags a hand through his hair, and for the first time since Riven met him, he looks tired. We're not planning to force anything. We're trying to figure out how to keep you safe from people who will. By bonding me yourselves? By making it look like you're already claimed. There's a difference. Riven's breath catches. A fake bond. A temporary mark. Synthetic pheromones. Enough to convince other alphas you're taken without actually. Kale stops. Shakes his head. We weren't going to do it without telling you. We were trying to find another option first. And if you don't find one? Kale meets his eyes. Then we ask. And if you say no, we respect that. Even if it means I'm in danger? Even then. The words sit between them, heavy and impossible to verify. Riven wants to believe him. God, he's so tired of not knowing what to believe. Iver squirms. Riven, you're holding too tight. Riven loosens his grip, sets Iver down. The kid immediately runs to Kale, wrapping his arms around the alpha's leg. Are you and Riven fighting? Kale kneels, same way Nyx had at the clinic. Just talking, little man. Everything's okay. Promise. Promise. Iver seems satisfied. He runs off toward his room, probably to get more toys to show off. Riven and Kale stay frozen in place. The meeting at 3 p.m., Kale says quietly. It's a setup. The person who contacted you works for the people we're investigating. They want to take you from us. Riven's stomach drops. How do you know about? We monitor threats. Not you. Threats. Kale stands. Someone's been watching the penthouse, following our cars. They saw you at the restaurant last night and now they think you're vulnerable. That you'll run if given the chance. Maybe I am vulnerable. Maybe I should run. Then run. Kale pulls a keycard from his pocket and holds it out. Elevator access. No restrictions. You can leave right now and we won't stop you. Riven stares at the card. Why? Because I meant what I said at dinner. We don't own you. We're trying to protect you. But if you don't want that protection, we won't force it. What about Iver? He stays safe either way. Whether you're here or not, we'll make sure he's taken care of. The keycard sits between them like a test. Like a choice Riven never thought he'd get to make. He thinks about the basement files. About the trafficking ring still operating somewhere in the city. About the person who texted him. Someone who might be trying to help or might be trying to trap him. And Riven has no way of knowing which. He thinks about Iver laughing in the car garage. About Nyx's toy car and Kale's soup and the way none of them have touched him without permission. Even when they could have forced anything they wanted. He thinks about the eviction notice he used to carry and the heat suppressants he can finally afford and the fact that for the first time in months, he's not afraid of where his next meal is coming from. And he hates that these things matter. Hates that survival makes him compromise. Hates that he's even considering staying. His hand moves toward the keycard, then stops. If I stay, Riven says slowly, I want answers. Real ones. No more half-truths about protection and danger. I want to know everything. Kale's jaw tightens. Some things are classified, then declassify them. Or I walk. A long pause, then Kale nods once. Tonight, after Iver's asleep, we'll tell you everything. All three of you? All three of us. Riven takes the keycard anyway, slips it into his pocket next to his phone. Insurance, maybe, or just proof that he still has a choice. The meeting at 3 p.m., he says. What if I went anyway, with you watching? We could see who shows up. Kale's expression sharpens. That's dangerous. Everything's dangerous. At least this way we'd know who we're dealing with. For the first time, Kale almost smiles. You think like an operative. I think like someone who's tired of being a victim. Something passes between them, understanding, maybe, or respect. Before either can say more, an alarm starts beeping. Loud and shrill, echoing through the penthouse. Kale's hand goes to his phone. His face goes pale. What? Riven starts. Security breach. Someone's in the building. Who had broken into the building, the people trying to save Riven, or the ones trying to take him? Kale's already moving. Get Yver. Lock yourself in the panic room. Third door on the left. Code is 7293. Where are you? Getting Nix and Soren. Go. Now. Riven runs. His feet pound against marble. His pulse hammering in his ears louder than the alarm. He bursts into Yver's room and finds the kid standing frozen by his bed. Hands over his ears, eyes wide with terror. It's okay. It's okay. Riven scoops him up. We're playing hide and seek. Remember how to be really quiet. Yver nods against his shoulder. The panic room is exactly where Kale said. Riven punches in the code with shaking fingers. The door hisses open, revealing a space the size of a walk-in closet lined with supplies. Water bottles, food rations, first aid kit. A monitor showing security feeds from every angle of the building. Riven steps inside with Yver. The door seals behind them with a sound like a bank vault closing. On the monitor, he watches 3 figures in black moving through the lobby. They're not sneaking. They're not hiding. They're walking straight toward the elevator like they own the place. The camera feed switches. Shows Kale, Nix, and Soren in the hallway, weapons drawn. Guns. Riven's never seen them armed before. His stomach turns. This isn't protection. This is war. The intruders reach the elevator. One of them pulls out a device, holds it against the control panel. The doors open. They're coming up. Riven watches Kale move into position by the elevator on the penthouse floor. Nix flanks left, Soren right. Military precision. They've done this before. The elevator climbs. 15 floors. 20. 25. Yver whimpers. I'm scared. I know, buddy. Me too. But we're safe here. Nothing can get through this door. He hopes that's true. 30 floors. The elevator stops. Riven holds his breath. The doors open and chaos erupts. Gunfire flashes on the monitor. Quick bursts. Controlled. Professional. The intruders scatter. One goes down immediately. The other 2 return fire, driving the triplets back. Riven can't look away. Can't breathe. He watches Nix take a bullet to the shoulder, watches him barely flinch, watches him keep firing like pain doesn't exist. One of the intruders makes it past the elevator. Runs straight toward the panic room. Riven's blood goes cold. They know where he is. The intruder reaches the door. Starts working on the lock with another device. Something that makes the panel spark and smoke. Riven, cover your ears. Riven whispers to Yver, pressing the kid's face into his shoulder. The lock holds. 10 seconds. 20. Then Soren appears behind the intruder. No hesitation. One shot, clean and final. The intruder drops. Riven's hands shake so hard he nearly drops Yver. The monitor shows the aftermath. 3 bodies on the floor. Kale checking each one, confirming they're down. Nix bleeding but standing. Soren already on his phone, calling someone, cleanup crew probably. The alarm cuts off. The silence is worse. Minutes pass. Could be 5, could be 50. Riven loses track of time, just holds Yver and waits for the door to open or for more intruders to appear or for anything to happen. Finally, a knock. 3 short, 2 long. Pattern. Riven, it's Kale. You can open the door. Riven's finger hovers over the release button. How do I know it's really you? Because Yver has Nix's red toy car, and last night you were listening through the wall when we talked about the synthetic bond. Something only the real Kale would know. Riven opens the door. Kale stands there, suit jacket gone, shirt sleeve torn, blood on his hands that might not be his. He looks at Riven, then at Yver, and his expression softens just slightly. You're both okay? Riven nods. Can't find words. Good. Stay here a few more minutes while we finish securing the floor. Nix was shot. He's fine. grazed him. He's had worse. Kale disappears before Riven can ask anything else. Aver's crying softly now, the adrenaline wearing off. Riven sits on the floor of the panic room and rocks him, humming something his own mother used to sing before she died. Before Riven ended up alone in the system. Before everything went wrong. When they finally emerge, the penthouse looks normal. No bodies, no blood. The three intruders have been erased like they never existed. Nick sits at the kitchen counter, Soren wrapping his shoulder with gauze. The bullet wound is shallow, just like Kale said, but it's still bleeding. "Hey, little man," Nick says when he sees Iver. His voice is rough but gentle. "You were brave." Iver sniffles. "You got hurt. Just a scratch. I've had worse from shaving." Pulls a tiny smile from Iver. Riven wants to cry. Soren finishes the bandage and turns to Riven. "The people who attacked us were hired by someone trying to destabilize our investigation. They wanted you as leverage." "Leverage for what?" "To force us to back off. If they had you, they could trade your safety for our silence." Riven's legs feel weak. He sits before they give out. "So I really am bait?" "No," Kale says firmly. He crouches in front of Riven, forcing eye contact. "You're not bait. You're someone we chose to protect, and that made you a target." "There's a difference." "Is there?" Riven's voice cracks. "Because from where I'm sitting, I'm still in danger because of you. You were in danger before us. You just didn't know it." Kale's hand hovers near Riven's knee but doesn't touch. "The auction you walked into? It was run by the same people who sent those men today. If we hadn't bought you, they would've. And you wouldn't have ended up in a penthouse with a panic room." The words sink in slowly. Riven thinks about the woman on the platform at the auction. Number 7, 23 years old, and bonded. He wonders where she is now. Wonders if she's alive. "I promised you answers tonight," Kale says. "I'm keeping that promise. But first, we need to move locations. This building's compromised." "Move where?" "Somewhere safer. Somewhere they won't find us for a while." Riven looks at Iver, at Nix's bandaged shoulder, at Soren's blood-stained hands. Looks at the keycard still in his pocket that represents freedom he's not sure he wants anymore. "Okay," he says finally. "But after we move, you tell me everything. No more secrets." "No more secrets," Kale agrees. They pack fast. 2 suitcases. Essentials only. Iver falls asleep in the car, exhausted from fear. Riven holds him and watches the city pass by through tinted windows. They drive for an hour, leaving the city behind, heading into suburbs that turn into countryside. The safe house is small. A cabin surrounded by trees with no neighbors for miles. It feels more like a prison than the penthouse ever did. Inside, it's sparse but functional. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a kitchen with a stocked pantry. Security cameras cover every angle outside. But inside there's nothing. Privacy, maybe, or trust. Riven puts Iver to bed in the smaller bedroom. The kid doesn't wake up even when Riven tucks him in and kisses his forehead. When he comes out, all 3 triplets are waiting in the living room. "Talk," Riven says. Would the truth finally set Riven free, or trap him deeper in a war he never asked to fight? Kale speaks first. "Our father ran the largest Omega trafficking operation on the East Coast. Built it over 30 years, bought and sold thousands of people, destroyed countless lives." His voice is flat, reciting facts. "We inherited it when he died 3 years ago." Riven's stomach churns. "And you just kept running it?" "For 6 months, yes. We had to. The organization was too big to dismantle from the outside, and if we'd walked away, someone worse would have taken over." Kale leans forward, elbows on his knees. "So we took control. Learned the structure, identified the key players, documented everything. Then we burned it down," Soren adds. "Shut down auction houses, released captives, turned evidence over to federal investigators. It took 18 months. But we couldn't get everyone," Nick says quietly. "The network's too deep. People scattered, started smaller operations. We've been tracking them ever since. Riven processes this slowly. So when I walked into that auction, you walked into the last active house we haven't shut down yet. We've been using it to identify buyers, trace money, build cases. Kale's eyes meet his. When you appeared, we had two choices. Let someone else buy you and lose our chance to gather evidence, or buy you ourselves and keep you safe while we finish the job. You chose door number 2. We chose you, Soren corrects. The mission was already planned. You complicated it. But we weren't going to let you become another victim just because our timing was inconvenient. Riven wants to be angry, wants to feel used, but there's something in the way they're looking at him. Tired and honest and almost desperate for him to understand. The people who attacked today, Riven says, they're part of the old network? Yeah, they figured out we're the ones feeding information to the feds. Killing you sends a message. Back off or everyone you protect dies. So I am bait. No, Kale's voice is sharp. You're someone we're protecting who became a target because of us. We take responsibility for that. Which is why we moved you here, why we'll keep moving you until this is over. When will it be over? 6 months, maybe less. The federal case goes to trial in July. Once the indictments come down, the remaining players will scatter or get arrested. Either way, you'll be safe. 6 months. Half a year of running, hiding, looking over his shoulder. Half a year of Iver growing up in safe houses instead of a real home. What about after? Riven asks. After the trial, after it's safe, what happens to me and Iver? Silence. Finally, Soren speaks. That's up to you. You'll have money, we've set up a trust fund. Enough to start over anywhere you want. New identity if you need it. We'll help you relocate, find housing, whatever you need. And then what? You just let us go. Yes, Kale says simply. Riven doesn't believe him. Can't believe him. Why would you do all this just to let me walk away? Because it's the right thing to do. Kale's expression is unreadable. Because our father took choices away from people. We won't do the same. Even though you, Riven stops. He'd heard them talking about bonding, about keeping him close. About jealousy and possession and things that didn't sound like they wanted to let go. Even though we what? Nix's voice is rough. Nothing. Forget it. No. Nix stands, crosses to where Riven sits. Doesn't touch but stands close enough that Riven has to tilt his head back to meet his eyes. Say it. I heard you. At the restaurant. The way you reacted when that alpha tried to talk to me. The way you, Riven's voice drops. You don't act like people who are planning to let me go. The silence stretches too long. Soren laughs, short and bitter. You're right. We don't. Soren, Kale warns. No, he deserves honesty. Soren meets Riven's eyes. Truth is, we didn't plan to care. You were supposed to be another person we protected and released. But then you showed up with a sick kid you were sheltering illegally. Then you snuck into our basement looking for evidence. Then you... He stops, shakes his head. You're not what we expected. What did you expect? Someone who needed saving. Not someone who was already fighting. The words hit different than Riven expects. Like respect. Like something more. So what now? Riven asks. You protect me for 6 months and then what? Fight over who gets to keep me. No, Kale says firmly. We give you a choice. Stay or go. Bond or walk away. Whatever you decide, we respect it. And if I choose to leave, then we let you go. Even though it'll kill you? Kale's expression doesn't change. Even then, Riven stares at him. At all 3 of them. These alphas who bought him at an auction, who locked him in a penthouse, who killed intruders and built panic rooms and somehow still managed to kneel for a scared kid and make soup and give away toy cars. He doesn't know what they are. Heroes or villains or something in between. Maybe all 3. I need time, Riven says finally. To think. To figure out what I want. Take all the time you need, Kale says. We're not going anywhere. That's what Riven's afraid of. The next 2 weeks pass in a blur of waiting and watching. The cabin feels smaller every day. Iver adapts fast, playing in the woods, collecting rocks, chattering endlessly at Nyx, who listens with surprising patience. Riven watches them from the window, watches Nyx teach Iver how to skip rocks across the creek, watches Soren help him build a fort out of fallen branches, watches Kale ruffle his hair when he brings back a handful of wildflowers. And something in Riven's chest cracks wider every day. The call comes on a Wednesday. Kale takes it in the bedroom, door closed, voice low. When he emerges, his expression is grim. The indictments came down early. 15 arrests, including the auction house operator. It's over. Over. The word should bring relief. Instead, it brings dread. So I can leave, Riven says. You can leave, Kale confirms. And you'll let me? We promised. Riven should feel free, should feel victorious. Instead, he feels like he's losing something he never knew he wanted. I need to think, he says again. But this time, he's not sure what he's thinking about. If Riven walked away now, would he finally be free? Or would he spend the rest of his life wondering what he left behind? Riven doesn't leave. Not the next day, not the day after. He tells himself he's waiting for the right moment, for Iver to adjust, for the dust to settle. But the truth sits heavier every morning he wakes up in the cabin. He doesn't want to go. A month passes, then two. The triplets don't push, don't ask. Just exist around him and Iver like this is normal, like bot omegas stay with their buyers voluntarily all the time. Maybe some do. Riven applies for legal custody of Iver through a lawyer Kale recommends. The paperwork is complicated. Iver's mother is still alive, still incarcerated, still technically has parental rights. But she hasn't seen her son in 3 years. Hasn't called, hasn't written, hasn't fought when social services placed him in temporary care. The hearing is scheduled for October. I should get my own place before then, Riven says one morning over breakfast. The judge will want to see I can provide stability. Kale doesn't look up from his coffee. You have stability here. This isn't my home. It could be. The words hang in the air. Iver, oblivious, chatters about the frog he found yesterday. Nyx listens and asks questions. Soren makes pancakes. Feels like a family. Feels like a lie. That afternoon, Riven walks into town alone for the first time in months. The triplets don't stop him. Don't follow. He has the keycard, has freedom, has everything he thought he wanted. The town is small. One main street, a few shops, a diner. Riven sits at the counter and orders coffee he doesn't drink. Just stares at his reflection in the chrome napkin dispenser and tries to figure out who he is now. Not a victim. Not anymore. Not a prisoner either. So what? You look lost. Riven glances up. The waitress is older, kind-faced, the type who's seen everything and judges nothing. Her name tag reads Martha. Just thinking, Riven says, about whether to stay or go. He blinks. How did you? Small town. Everyone knows about the Vantral boys and their Omega. She refills his coffee without asking. They come through here sometimes. Always polite, good tippers. But people talk. What do they say? That those boys are trouble. That they're criminals. That anyone involved with them is asking for pain. She pauses. They also say those boys shut down their father's trafficking operation and probably saved hundreds of lives. So, she shrugs. People talk, but nobody knows the whole truth except the people living it. Riven stares into his coffee. What if I don't know the truth either? Then you figure it out. But do it before you make a choice you can't undo. When Riven gets back to the cabin, Soren's on the porch waiting. He doesn't ask where Riven went, just hands him an envelope. Inside is a key and an address. What's this? Apartment in the city. 2 bedrooms, good school district, security system. It's yours if you want it. Paid in full for a year. Riven's hands shake. Why? Because the custody hearing is in 3 weeks and you need proof of stable housing. Soren's expression is careful, neutral. You don't have to stay here, but we want you to have options. Options. That's what they keep giving him. Freedom wrapped in protection, choice wrapped in care. is driving him insane. The custody hearing arrives too fast. Riven wears the suit Kale bought him, stands in front of a judge, and explains why he should be allowed to adopt a child who isn't biologically his. I've been caring for Iver for 8 months. I'm the only stable presence he's had since his mother was incarcerated. I have housing. He provides the apartment address, employment, a job offer Soren arranged at a nonprofit, and a support system. The judge looks skeptical. Support system? Yes, Your Honor. Can you elaborate? Riven hesitates. Then, 3 people who've made sure Iver and I are safe, fed, and cared for, who've proven they're invested in his well-being. Are these people here today? Movement in the back of the courtroom. Riven turns. All 3 triplets sit in the last row. Kale in a suit, Nix looking uncomfortable in formal clothes, Soren calm and collected. They came, even though Riven never asked, even though showing up connects them to him publicly. Yes, Your Honor, Riven says quietly. They're here. The judge grants temporary custody pending a 6-month review. Outside the courthouse, Iver launches himself at Riven's legs. Does this mean you're my dad now? Riven's throat closes. Yeah, buddy. I guess it does. Iver whoops and runs to Nix, chattering about how they need to celebrate. Nix picks him up like he weighs nothing, and Riven's heart does something complicated in his chest. That night, back at the cabin, after Iver's asleep, Riven finds Kale on the porch. Thank you, Riven says, for coming today, for the apartment, for everything. You don't owe us thanks. I know. I'm giving it anyway. Kale turns, studies him in the darkness. Have you decided? About staying or going? I don't know. Riven sits on the porch steps. I keep waiting to feel trapped, to feel like I need to run. But I don't. What do you feel? Scared. The word comes out barely louder than breath. Scared that I'm starting to like this. Like you. All 3 of you. Scared that's exactly what you wanted. It's not what we wanted. It's what happened. Kale sits beside him, careful to leave space between them. We didn't plan to care either. But here we are. So what do we do? Whatever you want. If you want to take Iver and move into that apartment and never see us again, we'll respect that. If you want to stay even just for a while longer, He stops. We'll try not to mess it up. Riven almost laughs. That's a low bar. It's the only one we can promise. They sit in silence, watching the stars. Somewhere in the woods, an owl calls. Iver's nightlight glows through the window. I'm not ready to decide yet, Riven says finally. Okay. But I'm not ready to leave either. Okay. That's it? Just okay. Kale meets his eyes. What else do you want me to say? I don't know. Push me. Convince me. Tell me what you want. I want you to choose for yourself. Even if you don't choose us. The honesty hurts worse than any lie. Riven goes inside before he does something stupid like cry. Months pass. Winter comes. Iver starts school in town. Riven takes the non-profit job. The apartment sits empty except for weekends when Riven takes Iver there to maintain the fiction of independence. But every Sunday night, they come back to the cabin. Back to Nix's quiet presence and Soren's cooking and Kale's steady voice reading bedtime stories to Iver. Back to something that feels dangerously close to home. Would Riven finally choose safety over freedom, or had he already made his choice without realizing it? Spring arrives slowly. Ice melts off the creek. Green pushes through dead leaves. Iver turns 7 and insists on a birthday party with exactly 4 guests. Riven, Kale, Nix, and Soren. They celebrate in the cabin. Chocolate cake that Soren makes from scratch. Presents piled on the table. Books and toys and clothes Iver's already growing out of. He blows out candles and makes a wish he won't tell anyone. After, when Iver's in bed, Riven sits on the porch with cooling coffee and thinks about time. How 8 months ago he was broke and desperate, walking into an auction house with a lost wallet and no idea his life was about to explode. How now he has a son, a job, a home that isn't his but feels like it anyway. How the triplets still haven't touched him beyond guiding hands and adjusted collars. even though the air between them gets thicker every day. You're thinking too loud. Riven glances up. Kale stands in the doorway, backlit by warm light from inside. Sorry, I'll think quieter. Kale almost smiles. He sits beside Riven, close enough their shoulders brush. The 6-month custody review is next week. I know. You'll pass. The judge will make it permanent. I know that too. Which means you'll need to make a decision. About the apartment. About staying here. About... Kale stops. About us. Riven's heart hammers. What if I don't know what I want? Then we wait until you do. What if I never know? Then we wait anyway. It's too much. Too patient, too careful, too different from every alpha who's ever wanted something from him before. Why? Riven asks. Why do you care so much? Kale turns to face him fully. In the dim light, his eyes are dark and serious. Because somewhere between buying your safety and watching you fight for a kid who isn't yours, we fell for you. All 3 of us. In different ways at different times, but completely. The words steal Riven's breath. We know we don't deserve you. Kale continues quietly. We know our history is complicated and our methods were wrong, and we put you in danger just by existing near you. But we're asking anyway. Not for ownership. Not for obligation. Just for a chance. A chance at what? Whatever you're willing to give. Riven's hands shake. He sets down his coffee before he drops it. I don't know if I can trust this. Trust you. My whole life, people have wanted me for what I am, not who I am. Then let us prove we're different. How? Kale pulls something from his pocket. A document. He hands it over. Riven unfolds it, reads by the porch light. It's a legal contract terminating their guardianship claim. Dated today. Already signed by all 3 triplets. You're free, Kale says. Legally, officially, completely. No guardianship, no protection contract, no ties. You can leave tonight and we have no legal grounds to stop you. But you don't want me to leave. No, we don't. But what we want doesn't matter as much as what you need. Riven stares at the document. At the signatures releasing him, at the freedom he's been fighting for since the night he walked into that auction house. He thinks about Yver asleep inside, safe and loved. About the non-profit job that actually means something. About Nyx teaching him to skip rocks and Soren's terrible jokes and Kale's quiet, steady presence. About the way his chest aches when he thinks about leaving. I'm still scared, Riven admits. Of us. Of wanting this. Of needing this, of his voice drops, of choosing to stay and then losing it all anyway. That's a risk with anything worth having. Is that supposed to be comforting? No, it's supposed to be honest. Riven laughs shakily, folds the document and sets it aside. I need more time. Okay. Stop saying okay. Push back. Fight for this. I am fighting for it. By giving you space to choose freely. Riven wants to scream, wants to grab Kale and shake him and demand he act like every other alpha who's ever wanted something. Possessive and demanding and clear. Instead, Kale just sits there, patient and infuriating and perfect. I'm going to make mistakes, Riven says finally. I'm going to have bad days and panic attacks and moments where I need to run even though there's nowhere to run to. Okay. And Yver comes first. Always. No matter what. We wouldn't want it any other way. And I need time, months maybe, to figure out if this is real or just trauma bonding or Stockholm Syndrome or take years if you need to. Stop being so understanding. Kale does smile then, small and genuine. Would you prefer we lock you in the basement? Don't even joke about that. They fall into silence. Comfortable for once. The spring air is cool but not cold. Inside, someone, probably Soren, is washing dishes. The sound of running water is domestic and normal and everything Riven never thought he'd have. The custody review, Kale says eventually. After it's done, after Yver's adoption is permanent, we're opening a youth center. For Omega kids in the foster system. Yver suggested it. He did. Said there should be a place where kids like him can feel safe. Where people like you work. Kale glances over. We'd like you to run it. If you want. No pressure. The job offer stands either way. Riven's throat tightens. You're offering me a career running a non-profit funded by reformed traffickers to help kids like the ones you used to. Trade. Yes. The irony isn't lost on us. Kale's expression is serious. But if we can't undo what our father did, we can at least try to do better going forward. With your help, if you'll give it. It's too much. The apartment, the custody, the job, the freedom, the choice. Everything Riven wanted handed to him by the people he should hate. But doesn't. Can't. I'll think about it, Riven says. That's all we ask. A week later, the judge makes Iver's adoption permanent. Riven signs papers with shaking hands and walks out of the courthouse with a son who's legally, officially, permanently his. They celebrate at the diner in town. Martha brings extra ice cream for Iver and winks at Riven like she knows secrets he's still figuring out. That night, Riven makes a decision. He tells Iver first. How would you feel about staying at the cabin? Not just visiting. Actually living there. Iver looks up from his homework. With Kale and Nix and Soren? Yeah. Would they be like extra dads? Riven's chest tightens. I don't know. Maybe. Eventually. If that's okay with you. Iver considers this with the seriousness only a 7-year-old can manage. Would I still get to keep my room? Yeah, buddy. And Nix would still take me to the creek? Every weekend. Then yeah. I want to stay. It's that simple for him. Should be that simple for Riven too. Maybe it is. He finds Kale in the study going over youth center plans. I'll stay. Kale looks up slowly. Yeah. Not forever. Not yet. But for now. I'll stay. I'll run the youth center. And I'll... Riven takes a breath. I'll try. To trust this. To trust you. That's more than enough. I have conditions. Name them. No bonding until I'm ready. Could be months. Could be years. Agreed. Iver and I keep the apartment. As backup. Just in case. Agreed. And if any of you hurt him or me or cross a line, I'm gone. No second chances. Understood. Riven waits for the catch. For the caveat. For the moment where Kale reveals this was manipulation all along. It doesn't come. That's it. Riven asks. You just agree? What else would I do? I don't know. Every other alpha I've ever met would have conditions of their own. Rules. Expectations. We have one expectation. Kale stands, moves closer but doesn't touch. That you stay as long as you want to be here. Nothing more. And if I change my mind, then you change your mind. It's terrifying how much Riven wants to believe him. They don't tell the others right away. Just exist in the cabin like normal, except now when Riven thinks about leaving, his chest doesn't ache with longing. It aches with dread. A month passes. Then another. The youth center opens in May. Riven hires staff, designs programs, watches Omega kids walk through doors and find safety for the first time. One afternoon, he's in his office when someone knocks. He looks up. Kale stands in the doorway holding coffee. Thought you could use this. Thanks. Riven takes the cup. Their fingers brush. Neither pulls away. Can I ask you something? Kale says. Always. Do you still have the key card? The one I gave you for the elevator. Riven's hand goes to his pocket. He's carried it every day since. Insurance. Proof of choice. Yeah. Good. Keep it. Kale leans against the doorframe. I never want you to forget you can leave. Even now? After everything. Especially now. The words settle into Riven's chest, warm and heavy and real. That night, back at the cabin, after Iver's asleep and Soren's reading in the living room and Nix is outside shopping with like a mountain man. Riven finds Kale on the porch again. Their spot, apparently. I'm ready, Riven says. For what? To stop thinking about leaving. To stop planning exit strategies. To just... He takes a breath. Be here. With you. All of you. Kale's expression doesn't change, but something in his shoulders relaxes. You sure? No. But I'm doing it anyway. That's brave. That's stupid. Sometimes they're the same thing. Riven moves closer. Close enough to feel Kale's warmth. Close enough to see the amber flecks in his eyes that he noticed that first night in the auction house. Do you have a mate? Riven asks, echoing that question that changed everything. Kale's breath catches. Not yet. Riven's lips curve. Well, he takes another step. Close enough now that they're breathing the same air. Maybe you should do something about that. Kale's hand comes up slowly, telegraphing the movement, giving Riven every chance to pull away. His fingers brush Riven's jaw, soft and careful and asking permission. Riven doesn't pull away. Not yet means there's still time, Kale says quietly. Yeah, there is. Good. The space between them shrinks. Inside, Soren laughs at something in his book. Nix's axe hits wood with a steady rhythm. Aver's nightlight glows through the window. Everything Riven never knew he wanted is right here. And for the first time in 8 months, he's not afraid of keeping it. Kale steps closer. The end,